Good morning, everybody. This is Mr. Stubbe, your favorite biology teacher, coming to you. It's Wednesday morning today. Last time we talked about prokaryotes and their basic biology. Today we're going to be looking at prokaryotes in the environment and what some of their ecological roles are. Again, make sure you're taking good notes during these screencasts. You may use notes on any of your tests. So I'm going to disappear here and show you the entire. At least my image is going to disappear. My voice will stay with you. This way we can show you the whole slideshow. A couple facts here. Did you know a healthy person has 230 species of bacteria living on them? As a matter of fact, for every one human cell, there are about 1 to 2 bacteria cells on and in your body. A lot of us think of bacteria as things that just cause diseases, but these are some statistics that show that they're doing some really important stuff in us. So today, again, we're going to be talking about prokaryotes in the environment. One of the most beneficial aspects of them, as many of you know, is they play the ecological role of decomposers. Bacteria can break down just about anything in nature, dead plants, animals. We've even used them to clean up oil spills at sea. And another common one that all of us take advantage of is this stuff called sewage, which obviously nobody wants. Down here is a image of a wastewater treatment tank. And this is basically a large container. It almost looks like a big swimming pool, even with a diving board here. Of course, you wouldn't want to go swimming in that. Which takes sewage and uses bacteria to break it down into purified water, carbon dioxide, nitrogen gases, and other harmless things that can go back into the environment. So they help break things down that we no longer want. Other bacteria are producers. Some of them called cyanobacteria, some of the most important photosynthesizers on Earth. Here's one genus called Prokaryotes. You see that coccus word there? That means spherical or circle shape. They actually do more than half of all the ocean's production. And since the ocean does most of our photosynthesis on Earth, even more than the rainforest, this is a good portion of the oxygen that we breathe comes from this one little bacteria here. Other bacteria do a process called nitrogen fixation. Nitrogen fixation is changing unusable nitrogen, which is N2 gas, it's in the air, you and I are breathing it right now, into usable nitrogen in the form of NH3, which is ammonia. The genus name for the bacteria that does this is called Rhizobium, and they have a symbiotic relationship with legume plants. Legume is a name of a family of plants that include the beans, peas, peanuts, basically seeds that come in pods. These are good sources of protein because, of course, protein has a lot of nitrogen in it. The way they do it is by these bacteria living on root nodules. These little bumps here are called nodules, and they're little colonies of bacteria. They're actually the ones taking the nitrogen gas, converting it into ammonia, and then the plant can take it up through its stem here and make lots of protein. So beans and peas tend to be high in protein. Vegetarians who are trying to replace meat protein with plants usually choose plants in this family. So nitrogen fixation, very important process. Something that's used directly by humans is food production. A lot of our foods are made through bacteria fermentation. So cheeses, yogurts, sour cream, pickles. Many of our drugs also are made through genetically engineered bacteria. So what happens is humans will take the gene for making a chemical, such as, let's say, insulin here, or growth hormone. They'll insert that gene into the bacteria, and the bacteria will make the chemical because they, read the DNA just the same way we do. So very important source of a lot of drugs these days. Unfortunately, many of our bacteria also, as you know, cause diseases. We call these bacteria, and as a matter of fact, anything that causes a disease is referred to as a pathogen, okay? Bacteria can get us sick in one of two ways. Some bacteria make toxins, make poisons that get into our cells. For example, food poisoning. you cannot cook this out of a food. You can kill the bacteria that made it, but it won't destroy the toxin itself. So the best way to get rid of spoiled food, obviously, is just to throw it away. Other bacteria get us sick by actually destroying our cells by using them as a food source. So tuberculosis or TB is one of these bacteria. If you've ever gotten an infection in your skin, that's one of those types of bacteria also. They're eating your cells, which is causing the pain. So different bacteria cause problems different ways. And I'm sure some of you have seen that in your Bacteria Wanted posters that you have been working on. A couple different diseases, and some of you may have chosen one of these. Lyme disease, which is a common one, especially this time of year in Wisconsin here. It's spread by ticks. Tick is their secondary host. So that's one place the disease hides out. Tetanus, of course, is an important one that most of us get a tetanus vaccine or tetanus shot for. Tuberculosis, TB, and strep throat, another bacterial disease. Okay. The best way to control bacteria is just like this individual is doing in the picture. And actually, this works for most viruses, including the coronavirus as well. On your body, it's just physically removing it with soap. Because they have cell membranes, which are made of lipids, that you need the soap to help cling to it and remove it. We can use disinfectants on our body as well. Hand sanitizer contains alcohol. We don't want to use extremely harsh chemicals. In the body, of course, we can't use strong disinfectants, but what we can do is use antibiotics. Antibiotics are drugs that really block the growth of the bacteria. And they do, here's a real important point, they do not work for viruses. So we cannot take antibiotics for the coronavirus, for example, because they end up working on the cell wall of the bacteria. And of course, viruses don't have a cell wall. Vaccines also, just like in viruses, vaccines can be used. Vaccines are preventative. So what you would do is get, for example, a tetanus vaccine, which really is a dead or weakened version of the bacteria itself. It's introduced in the body. It stimulates the immune system to fight the bacteria once the bacteria is presented to the body. Once the real bacteria is presented to the body, your body already has an immune system built up against it. Vaccines are very, very important, as most of us are learning nowadays with the coronavirus, and hopefully we'll get a vaccine for that soon. Outside of the body, we can use much more harsh techniques to kill bacteria. One of them is called sterilization. Sterilization means to kill all bacteria. This involves using heat, like boiling water or open fire, high pressure, UV, ultraviolet light. So out in the sunlight, for example, if you have a surface like a picnic table getting hit by the sun, that is a sterile surface. It kills everything. Chemicals, bleach is one, alcohol is another one, and these basically kill bacteria, okay? In our foods, we can oftentimes not kill all bacteria. Of course, we can if we cook the food, but some foods you may not want to cook again. So we refrigerate them, freezing, salting. Again, these do not kill the bacteria or their toxins. They just slow the growth of them. So if I have let's say, I don't know, a pizza that I ate, and I want to started eating the pizza and I got some leftovers, I'm going to put them in a refrigerator. It can only last so long in a refrigerator because eventually bacteria will eat it in there, but it'll slow it down and preserve its lifespan. Okay, same thing goes with the freezer. The freezer does not kill bacteria. Okay, and spoiled food, of course, has toxins which can't be destroyed with any of these techniques. So you need to throw that out. I did put a quiz in Pearson Realized called Prokaryotes. You may use your notes on this. This will include notes from prokaryotes last time as well. So their basic biology, like their shapes, how they reproduce and things like that. Make sure you get those notes if you didn't. And another hint, it's optional, but I would recommend it. Read section 21.2 before you take the quiz. You'll definitely understand it better. So